One is the AX series, that stands for axis. You'll see that 7th axis moving up and down. This allows us to maximize our stack heights to 106, 108 inch tall stack height, which ultimately gets you out the door with maximizing your throughput on a truckload, for instance. And then we also have our PE20, which is offering, PE stands for pedestal mount. The ability to have a bit more flexibility without needing that 7th axis going up and down, oftentimes resulting in higher payloads and more flexibility within your facility. So Robotiq prides himself in a tight relationship and partnership with Universal Robots. Universal Robots has an ecosystem of UR Plus partners, and we are one of those UR Plus partners. As UR Plus partner, we offer an app that sits on their interface. They call it a UR cap. This interface allows ease of use more than a typical program would. If you've ever experienced programming where you're digging into thousands of lines of code trying to figure out what the guy before you did and figure out how do I go to that mentality of the guy before me, it's really difficult. So what we've done is simplified that. We have an easy to use menu where you input information such as box height, length, width, the payload, and then you teach the pallet pattern. With that information, you only have to teach one pick position, which is out on the conveyor. Everything else then becomes relative to that inputting of information, creating your ease of use system and program and running. And we own all the trajectories, so you don't have to teach every waypoint on the pallet, saving yourself time and getting up and running faster. So Universal Robots recently increased their payload capacity, which allows us to pick up to 70 pounds. This opens the door for a lot of different applications, such as managing buckets and pails, the 5-gallon bucket, for instance, that we're showing off today, as well as our fertilizer bags, for instance, right? So we've opened the door to a lot of different applications with that. Still palletizing, still using the same programming sequence we normally would have with boxes. But the higher payloads have certainly opened the door to a larger market for us. Also, the ability to pick multiple cases at a time. So we can not only, if we can't meet your throughput in the past, now we can meet throughput by doubling the number of boxes we're picking. So for instance, 2 20-pound cases could be picked and we would maximize the throughput, doubling it ultimately. We typically see our palletizer used in the food and beverage industry. About 50% of our palletizers year to date have been in that industry, but we're seeing a lot of interest in consumer goods, obviously pharmaceutical. These are all really good fits for simple palletizing. Ultimately, anything that leaves your facility in a box or in a pail or in a bag makes sense for our palletizer. This gripper that we're using here today is our Power Pick. That's a series of grippers that we offer using Venturi vacuum. So we understand flexibility is key in automation, and that's why we've created a gripper that offers adjustability so that you can pick many different case sizes in your lineup. We know that you might have one box that you then put into a bigger box for your multi-pack or something like this when it leaves the facility. We want a gripper that can manage all of those cases from small to large. We work really hard to custom build these if needed so that we can manage all of your cases with one gripper, eliminating the need for changeover with your gripper.